Some parents become a child's first bully and still call it discipline. If your authority only works when the child is afraid, fear is doing the work, not respect. A boundary tells a child what must change. Humiliation tells the child they are the problem. Real authority can hold the line, hear resistance, and admit harm. You don't lose authority by apologizing. You prove that power is accountable. Repeated humiliation does not become harmless because it happens at home. One impatient sentence does not define a parent. A repeated method can define the relationship. It can sound like ridicule sold as honesty, threats sold as motivation, or contempt sold as standards. It can look like mocking fear, escalating until the required answer arrives, recruiting relatives to shame the child, or treating a question as disloyalty. Watch what the child has to monitor, the volume of your footsteps, the angle of your face, whether a small mistake will become a public trial, whether telling the truth is safer than hiding it. When the child is studying the adult more carefully than the rule, the adult's mood has become the real curriculum. Fear can produce quick compliance. That is why it can be mistaken for leadership, but stopping behavior is not the same as teaching judgment. Evidence reviews on harsh and physical punishment make that distinction. Immediate obedience does not demonstrate durable learning. Research on corporal punishment and harsh verbal discipline associates those practices with worse behavior, aggression, mental health problems, and relationship strain over time. Those are population-level risks, not a prophecy for one child. The honest claim is simpler. Frightening a child is not an evidence-based shortcut to better learning, and silence is not proof that the lesson landed. Power changes the meaning of words. A parent controls routines, access, and consequences, so a humiliating joke does not land like equal banter. Humiliation also turns an action into an identity. That choice hurts someone becomes, "you are bad." This behavior must stop becomes, "something is wrong with you." The lesson can shift away from practicing a better choice and toward defending a place in the relationship. We do not need a diagnosis, a speculative hidden mechanism, or a guaranteed lifelong wound to see the concern. Repeated interactions can teach expectations. Fear can become familiar without becoming healthy. Here comes the predictable objection. Children need authority. Correct. They need adults who can hold a line. The opposite of coercion is not permissiveness, endless negotiation, or letting a child run the house. Clear expectations, developmentally realistic rules, fair consequences, regular check-ins, and a caring relationship can exist together. A parent can say, "I hear that you are angry." The answer is still no. Listening does not surrender the boundary. Calm does not weaken it. A rule that survives questions without becoming cruel is stronger than a rule that must be defended with fear. A boundary says, "You hit, the game stops, we check on your brother, then repair what happened." Humiliation says, "You are cruel. What is wrong with you?" The first names an action, a consequence, and a responsibility. The second turns one moment into a verdict about the person. Resistance is not proof that the limit failed, so regulate before you escalate. Name what you observed without inventing a motive. "You threw the phone," not "you are trying to manipulate me." State the limit and the reason briefly. Authority does not require a child's emotional surrender. Hear the objection without handing over the decision. A child can say the consequence feels unfair. The answer can remain no. Keep consequences connected, proportionate, and reasonably consistent. If the same action brings explanation once, ridicule next, and icy silence after that, the child may start monitoring the adult's temperature instead of learning the rule. The adult's self-control is part of the lesson. A parent's history may explain why control feels urgent. It cannot make the harm healthy. The past deserves compassion. The child still deserves a different present. These skills can be learned, and structured parenting support exists for exactly that reason. And then there is repair. Repair is where authority proves it has rules for itself. A serious apology can sound like this: "I yelled and I scared you. That was wrong. The limit about hitting still stands. I should have stopped and returned when I was calm. I am sorry. I will handle it differently." Do not attach, but you made me. Do not demand an immediate hug or instant forgiveness. An apology is not a receipt that cancels the event. Changed behavior is the evidence. When the pattern is severe or repeated, repair may require qualified professional support or child protection intervention, not better wording alone. If there are threats of harm, physical violence, or ongoing fear, safety comes first. This is not a communication exercise. A child does not need a parent with no power. A child needs a powerful adult whose power is disciplined by fairness, accountability, and care. The line can stay firm. The relationship can stay present when it is safe. The apology can be real. You do not need to be a perfect parent to stop using fear as a shortcut, but you do need to stop calling fear respect. That is not lost authority. It is authority becoming worthy of respect.